Just because Bruce Banner's dead doesn't mean he can't be used as a weapon for the enemy. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down to the digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. In the Marvel Universe, there is a conflict going on known as Civil War II. This is the debate over whether or not we should act on the future knowledge of events. And through the knowledge of Bruce Banner turning into the Hulk again and killing everyone, the heroes of the Marvel Universe went to stop him. The argument escalated, and it grew worse, and in the heat of the moment, Hawkeye shot Bruce Banner, killing him. While that conflict and the fallout of Hawkeye's actions are told in another story known as Civil War II, Steve Rogers' Unity Group was at the event. The Unity Group was Steve Rogers' attempt to bridge the gap between all of the factions of the Marvel Universe, and they are basically Steve Rogers' group of Avengers. On the team is Deadpool, Synapse an Inhuman, Rogue a mutant, Cable a mutant, Dr. Voodoo an individual of the mystic arts, the Human Torch, a meta who can turn on fire, and Quicksilver another mutant. Being as diverse a group as they all have a different stance on the entire Civil War II debate. And the first thing that happens is Deadpool tries to break into the prison that Hawkeye is being held in to free him. He wants to know why he did this, and he set up Clint with a new identity to allow him to walk free. Clint refuses to go, though. He wants to take his chances within the court, and while he used to hate Deadpool, he understands him now. Deadpool makes the hard choices for people so that others don't have to, like Clint did with Bruce Banner. Deadpool tells him, yeah, it gets easier. It's the first kill that's the hardest, but after a while, I'm sure he'll be the next Punisher. And as Clint chuckles at that comment, Deadpool wished him luck in the courts and says that he'll see him in 25 to life. Meanwhile, Steve Rogers gets called to New Attilan because of a vision. Ulysses, the new Inhuman that the entire Civil War II event is based around, warns Captain America that his team is about to make some very poor decisions, and it's not Deadpool that he has to worry about. It's Cable, and the children of the Atom are about to wage war against the Inhumans. Ulysses explains that Cable is keeping rather poor company right now, and Cap has to stop it. So he heads off to find Cable, and he finds him on a rainy night loading up a plane for a vacation. He shows up with the entire law enforcement team to talk it out with Cable, but Cable pushes him aside, telling him that it's just a vacation. And when he loads up in his plane, Steve stands there doubting him. On board, we see Rogue is ready to go, along with Sebastian Shaw and Toad, because they're going to find the cure to save mutant kind. If you haven't been following the mutant storylines, recently a cloud of Terrigen mist has been let loose upon the world. While this makes new Inhumans, allowing them to grow, the very same cloud will kill any mutant who breathes it. It's been a time of tension between the mutants and the Inhumans, but Cable and Rogue feel that they might have a cure to save everyone. Meanwhile, over in Tokyo, an evil organization known as the Hand is aware of the passing of Bruce Banner, and they feel that under some of their spells, he might come in handy. You know, if they would raise him from the dead. While this is happening, Deadpool goes to visit Quicksilver in the hospital. He's been recovering ever since Ultron broke his leg in multiple spots, and we see that he's on the phone with a friend. But it's not the friend that we're expecting, as we see on the other side, it's Red Skull using the brain of Xavier that he stole to manipulate Quicksilver. Deadpool goes with Quicksilver and Synapse to the funeral of Bruce Banner, where Steve asks him, where are the rest of the mutants? Why aren't they here, Deadpool? Deadpool tells him, I have no idea, Steve. And Steve warns him. Tony Stark is about to wage war with the Inhumans over the Ulysses thing. If the mutants are also going to start a fight on another front, there's going to be hell to pay. While this is happening, Cable, Rogue, Shaw, and Toad are attacking a military base where they are testing the Terrigen mist to see if they can find a cure. As they run out of the base with the research, we find Deadpool standing in the plane, munching on a snack, telling them, you know, I had to lie to Steve Rogers for you. You owe me one. Except, Steve isn't dumb. As he stands there looking at the group, I warned you. We're in the middle of a war, and my own team of Avengers protecting Unity is breaking into a military base. Cable glares at him. You know what we're up against, Rogers. The Team Mists are killing mutants. Step aside. We're leaving with the research. And Steve throws his shield at Toad, knocking him down. Rogue tries to talk down Steve, but he's furious. Now you want to talk? The only way this ends is you all facing justice. Shaw steps forward. Captain, mutant kind does not have years that it'll take to convince the military to share this data. And Cable blasts Shaw with his gun. Let's speed this up. Now charged up, Shaw asks Captain to stand down so they don't have to fight. But Steve's not stepping aside, and the fight begins. Steve punches Shaw, and then Cable tackles him to the ground. He begins to choke him with one hand while he gets ready to hit him with the other, and Rogue knocks Cable off of him, stopping it. She holds him down, telling him, everyone get on the plane. And Steve calls out, do not let them get on that plane, Deadpool. Deadpool looks down at the case with the research, and he debates his actions. But in the end, while Steve is his friend, his daughter might be a mutant. He can't let Akira pass him by, and he throws it to Toad. Everyone except Steve, Rogue, and Deadpool leave the area. Deadpool tries to explain the situation with his daughter, but Steve doesn't care. You lied to me at my own friend's funeral. You're fired, Wilson. And then Rogue tries to defend Deadpool, and Steve says, the entire team is finished. There is no unity in the Unity Squad, which may prove a problem shortly as the Hand begins to raise the corpse of Bruce Banner out of the ground. Rogue and Deadpool sit down to talk about what they're going to do now in their destroyed base of operations. It hasn't been repaired since Ultron wrecked it. That's when Voodoo warns them that they need to get the Avengers together to fight against a weapon of mass destruction, the resurrected body of Bruce Banner. The Hand is about to turn him to their side. Realizing they'll need help in this potential battle in Japan, they decide to get the rest of the Avengers that they can find. Johnny Storm, Quicksilver, Synapse, and Wasp. The team questions where Rogers and Cable are, but Rogue says that they'll explain it later, and Voodoo makes a doorway to Japan. They arrive and they immediately meet up with Elektra and the Hand as the Hand launches an attack on the team. In the middle of Tokyo, an all-out battle begins with Rogue demanding to know where the body of Bruce Banner is being moved to. Once they drop them all, Voodoo reads the thoughts of one of the guys and learns of the location, once again teleporting the entire team to the Hand's hideout. They tear through the agents of the Hand trying to get to Banner's body, and they actually succeed. They get there and they stop the ritual that is going to revive him. No big evil Hulk to fight, until they discover that it was all a ploy to get them away from the real Hulk. He was resurrected hours ago, and he comes crashing through the wall. His hit knocked the entire team out of the building and into the snow, where Deadpool wakes up in a footprint of the Hulk because he got stepped on. Rogue and Human Torch rocket off to find a way to get the Hulk away from the populated areas, and Deadpool lets his brain mend. Siri, call Cable. I'm sorry, Your Highness. I don't understand ball table. Maybe the Hand could resurrect Steve Jobs so I can kill him next time. Cable, I know you're there. Hear me! Over with Cable and their little group, they realize that the research that they've retrieved is worthless and they're back to square one. And that's when Cable gets a news report about the team in a fight in Japan. He asks Shaw and Toad to join him as he teleports to Japan, and at first they agree, but when they poke their heads through the teleporter, they see everyone fighting the Hulk, and they realize that it's a rather bad idea to join Cable right now. They hit the Hulk with everything as they try to stop him, and the Hulk charges at Cable, and he says to himself, damn it, what a stupid way to die. Until Rogue hits the Hulk with full momentum, launching him into the sky. No one dies today. He digs his hand into the ground to catch and steady himself, and then in his rampage, he grabs the giant Gundam statue and throws it into a building. The Avengers try to get the poor survivors out of the town, and Voodoo arrives, stating he can end the zombie Hulk, but he'll need 10 minutes to prepare. Rogue tells him he has 5, and Quicksilver carries him away to an isolated island known as Hashima Island. He asks how they're going to get the Hulk here, and Quicksilver chuckles, I have no idea, and whoosh, he's gone. Meanwhile, Janet shrinks down and tries to talk some sense to him. Bruce, it's me, Janet. I know something terrible has happened to you. Well, actually, a bunch of terrible things happened at once. I need you to fight this, Bruce. The Hulk is the strongest that there is, but I need you to be stronger. And the Hulk smashes his own head to get her out. Quicksilver runs by, catching her as she falls, and Rogue hits him in the jaw, but the hit just threw him in front of a nuclear power plant. Janet flies back over to tell Bruce that she won't let the Hulk win. She knows that this was Banner's worst fear, that the monster would prevail, and she won't let it. Rogue keeps hitting the Hulk around, trying to knock him senseless until she throws him into the ocean, giving him no time to do any real damage to the nuclear power plant. Except as they get closer to the edge of the area, the Terrigen mists in the area are severely hindering Rogue's powers. Deadpool tells everyone, I'm pulling her out, and he begins to shoot wildly at the Hulk. Synapse tells everyone that she's suppressing the Hulk's optic nerve, making it hard for him to see. And Elektra tells her, that's not how you blind someone. So she runs in, jumping on his chest, and shoves her size into his eyes. That's how you blind someone. And Synapse tells her, well, I did it first. Torch zooms in and turns it up to full blast, using everything on the Hulk. And the only thing that he did was burn off the Hulk's clothing as he rampages back to the beach to get his revenge on Johnny. Rogue yells for Johnny to run, and Deadpool yells, oh fudge, he's nude, play dead! Quicksilver quickly runs over, grabbing him, and then Voodoo reports to everyone that he's ready. So Cable body slide teleports the Hulk and everyone right to Brother Voodoo. Voodoo tells everyone to get the Hulk into the pentagram. And of course, this is the Hulk and no one can actually move him. So Synapse uses all of her abilities to block the signal from the Hulk's inner ear into his brain, throwing off his balance and knocking him to the ground. Voodoo throws him a magical bubble to hold him there, and then he walks into the mess to take this to the magical plane. He walks inside and he finds Banner deep inside, suppressed by the Hand's magic, and he begins to remove the magical arrows. And the Hand's spirit arrives, telling him, stop. Voodoo tells Banner, do not speak. Your spirit is in jeopardy. And then he turns to the Hand's spirit. Release the Hulk. They warned Voodoo that if he does this, his brother's soul will belong to the Hand. Do you pick a friend or a brother? Voodoo continues to remove the magical arrows, telling them, I choose my brother, Banner, the Avenger, because Daniel damned himself. The Hand's spirit tells him that they will share his words with their new slave. And once free, Voodoo tells Banner, you are free. Walk in the peace of the light. I'm sorry that they abused you. Tears stream down Banner's face as they step out of the magical plane together, and Voodoo holds Banner's dead body once again. Deadpool puts Banner into a body bag, which leads to everyone asking why Deadpool's carrying around a body bag. And the next question comes up. Was this the last Avengers mission? Is the group done without Captain America? Rogue tells them like hell it is, and Deadpool reminds them that they have unfinished business. The Red Skull still stole Xavier's brain from his dead corpse, and he's still using it to have access to Xavier's powers. So the group decides that they will continue on without Steve Rogers. And Johnny asks Elektra if she'd like to join the Avengers. She laughs as she walks away, finding that hilarious. As everyone leaves, Rogue remembers how bad things have gotten. While she was dealing with the death and the disease that the X-Men have been coping with, she forgets the costs that the Avengers have paid. Hank Pym is worse than death, as he's now half Ultron. Odin's son is missing. Wonder Man is lost in her head somewhere, and now Tony Stark is down, and so is Banner. She can't shake the feeling that the worst is yet to come. And as she thinks about this, Quicksilver is wrestling with the Red Skull, still in his mind talking to him, telling him, "Bring the Avengers to me right now." And that concludes the Civil War tie-in for the Uncanny Avengers. The next storyline has already started if you want to go read it yourself, and oh my god is it good. The Red Skull is finally making a play against the Avengers. Check it out. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this revival of the Hulk. I mean, I guess in the end, Ulysses' vision kind of came true. He tried to kill everyone. But hey, whatever. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian, where we can chat about your favorite comic books and storylines all day and all night, and I will see you next time right here.